You come back to Moody Coliseum for the first time in a month, and even your conference record at 1-1, but it didn't start out the way it ended. Fell behind 10-2, 27-15 at the end of the first quarter. What went wrong in the first quarter?
You know, what we talked about prior to the game was, one, withstanding their run in the first quarter, because they are one of the best first quarter teams. I mean, they average, you know, you see 26 points, 29 points, 23 points. I mean, they put up a lot of points, and also withstanding their surge in the first half, because they play their starters a lot. They all average in double figures pretty much. They don't sub a whole lot. I mean, their shooters are going to play a lot. So we wanted to be able to at least be able to withstand any type of run and keep it close at half. We knew it was going to be a tough ball game. They're really good. Their shooters are really, really good. They're great breaking down players, great one-on-one players. And obviously, after the first quarter, what we talked about was reversing out quarters, say, all right, now it's our turn. Let's take it to you. And our kids did exactly that. I felt good going into halftime because we kind of were on the game plan. And, second half, obviously both teams missed some shots, missed some free throws, and thankfully they missed more free throws.
Both teams missed, but from the first quarter to the second quarter, you give up 27 in the first and 8 in the second. What were the adjustments you made for your team?
Well, we talked about, they got 11 points in the first quarter off of transition baskets. And they're fresh, they come out. I mean, this is their game. They come out, they come at you, they come at you, they come at you. I mean, they're just a great first quarter team. And so we talked about that, talked about transition, we talked about loose balls, we talked about not giving them second and third opportunities. I mean, they just really make the most of their opportunities. But our kids kind of settled down, and we hit a couple shots, and that just gave us confidence.
They started 5 guards. How often have you seen a team start 5 guards against you, and what are the biggest challenges you face playing against a team like that?
Well, obviously who Steph was going to be matched up with. And we put her on who the player that we felt like we can kind of keep her in the lane. And she studied. The nice thing about this team is they study these kids. They don't just, they take time even on their own to study their matchups, which Steph did. And I think that's important. And they have to be educated outside what we show them. But it still presented matchup problems for us at times, because when you have 5 players out that can shoot, then you really extend your defense. And Butts and Fitzgerald are going to take a lot of shots. That's their game. And you saw a couple times we had hands in their face, and they still hit the 3 on us. But that's part of the game. It's not easy matches, but I thought Steph did a great job. She certainly was a presence in that last shot that went up.
You mentioned Aaliyah Butts. She led everybody with 22 points tonight, including 5 3-pointers, but that wasn't all she did. She was seemingly everywhere, made a couple of 2s, some free throws. How much was your defensive game plan focused on her?
Well, we put Gabby on her a couple times at the end, and there at the very end, and Butts and Fitzgerald, they're the 2 leading scorers. They're going to take a lot of shots, and Butts got a lot of her, also some of her points in transition off of steals. I thought she was as effective on the defensive side, harassing us and causing turnovers, than she was on the offensive side.
You've talked before about this team needing to figure out a way to close out close games, win these close games, and your team's dropped a couple recently. Mississippi State in Puerto Rico, Tulsa last week. What was different down the stretch in this game compared to those 2?
Well, as you saw, we tried to make it interesting, and we had a couple of mishaps, but we had the lead, and I thought defensively we picked up our defense. I thought it was defense at the end. I don't think it wasn't our offense. We were struggling making entry passes at times when they picked up their pressure, but I thought we switched when we needed to. We played smart when we needed to. I really thought we contested shots. We made them take a couple of off-balance shots, but they're a really good offensive rebounding team. They're extremely athletic. They're very mobile in the paint, And but I thought our defense the last couple of possessions was very good. I mean, they got their points at the end off of steals and transition buckets more than in a half-court set.
When Gabby Wilkins was out with an injury earlier this season, you talked about her energy, her grit, and she had 18 and 10 tonight for you. But was the energy almost as important as the points that she gave you?
Absolutely. You know, Gabby she was not happy with herself after the Tulsa game. I think she was 1 for 12 and got some really nice looks, and she knows, and she's been in the gym the last couple of days. That's been important. Her energy, when those 2 games that we lost that you talked about earlier, when we didn't have Gabby, it made all the difference in the world. There's no question in my mind it made all the difference in the world. And the things that she does and the hustle out there, you just don't see on this piece of paper. And, you know, for her to get 18 points, usually, you know, Gabby she's in the other stat area, you know, the steals, this and that, and, you know, the rebounds. But for her to come up with 18 points is huge because she doesn't look to shoot as much, but I felt like she was a little more determined today, maybe because of what happened at Tulsa.
Given those close games that got away from you recently, what can closing out a game against a conference opponent with a winning record like tonight do for your team going forward, and how gratifying is it to you?
I think our kids deserved it. I told them in there, we finally got one, and we deserved it. As I told them, I don't like the fact they made it that interesting because we could have put it away a little bit earlier, but they deserved it. They worked hard, and we had a great close game against Mississippi State and lost at the end in the last 10 seconds to Tulsa. And then you see this happen and you go, oh, Lord, please don't, please let our kids hang on because they just deserve it. And you want it for them, too, because you want them to feel good about themselves.